And it's, you're just saying for plants.
Right.
It's got a specific variety.
Yeah. And then she has a flyer with a word on it.
The good news is that we're gonna take care of all
Is it,
the
and
services.
we're hoping that by next year, the salt is here.
How, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
How about now, Russ?
Oh, boy. Oh, you were in rare form tonight. Mayor.
Thank you, Microsoft.
She has a couple good ideas.
Russ, testing.
All good? Okay. Good evening. I'd like to call the regular Borough Council meeting of February 14th, 2022 to order. This meeting has been properly advertised in the Home News Tribune of January 7th, 2022, according to Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. Will the clerk please call the roll?
For the record, Councilwoman Neubauer is absent this evening due to illness. Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Here.
Councilman Peretti?
Here.
Councilman Potter?
Here.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Here.
And Council President Zambrana?
Here.
Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence, followed by a salute to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, so now, this evening, I have the pleasure of making an introduction. So after many years, we have a new director of our Milltown Library. So I would like to invite Charlie Leckenby. I should have my glasses on, Charlie, apologies. Leckenby up to the podium and to say welcome. Charlie comes with a wealth of experience from Edison and Brooklyn and Colorado, so we're thrilled to have you here, but if you want to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, we'd love to hear it.
All right. Well, thank you for having me tonight. I appreciate it. I currently live in Metuchen. I wound up in New Jersey from Colorado because the woman I'm married to right now, who's waiting for me to get home tonight on Valentine's Day, lived here, and so we started dating when I was in Colorado, and we had a choice whether I moved here or she moved there. She won, so I'm here. I love New Jersey. It's quite different from Colorado, but it has a lot of beautiful aspects to it, so I'm glad to be here. Like you said, I worked for 3 years at Brooklyn Public Library as a children's librarian and have been in Edison for the last 3 years as a children and teen librarian. So I gathered a lot of experience from Edison. It's a big city. Not as big as Brooklyn, of course, but I'm really happy to be in Milltown because I grew up in a town that was about the same size back in the 70s, a little ski town called Steamboat Springs. So I kind of feel like I'm back at home in a way because that small town feel is here, and I really love that. So. And I'm excited to be in a library that has a fantastic staff. Most of them are, one of them's here tonight. Most of them are from Milltown, which is just fantastic because they know the community, they know the people, they know the habits of the people who come into the library. So that makes my job a lot easier because I can go to them and find out, what's going on and what people want, and but at the same time, I'm excited to kind of bring a new rhythm to the library and try to, especially after the pandemic, and get people back into the library because I think a lot of people have been isolated, and they're looking for some way to reconnect, and I'm hoping that the library can be kind of a hub for connecting people back into the community with each other. So I'm going to be working on that.
Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
That's good.
Welcome.
Thank
Any
you.
questions? No, I mean, you have a great staff, a great library board. We're thrilled to have you, so welcome and happy Valentine's Day to your wife.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Much
All right.
appreciated.
See you all around.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Look forward to seeing you at the library. All right, so next we have the approval of minutes, which I'm going to actually postpone because we have a few things to correct. So that will be on the February 28th
28th meeting.
meeting.
Correct.
So then we're going to all move on to comments from the audience on resolutions. If any member of the public wishes to speak on any of the resolutions, please identify yourself to the clerk and say your name and address for the record. These comments are listed to resolutions listed on the agenda. Seeing none, I will close audience comments and move on to bills and claims. Will the clerk please read by title only the bill resolution 060-2022?
Resolution 060-2022 is authorizing the payment of bills, claims, and statements against the Borough of Milltown in the total amount of $647,717.29, excuse me.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Madam Mayor, I move that the bill list be approved as typed.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Potter, second by Council President Zambrana. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Potter?
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Aye.
Council President Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the resolutions. When voting on resolutions, all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and having been reviewed by the Borough Council will be enacted by one motion. Any item may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any council member, and if so removed, will be treated as a separate matter. Any items requiring expenditure are supported by a certification of availability of funds. Are there any questions, or does anyone want to pull any of the resolutions? Okay. Seeing none, will the clerk please read the consent agenda resolution, please?
Whereas pursuant to the rules of council, the council may establish a consent agenda for any regular or special meeting. And whereas the Borough Clerk has posted a consent agenda for this meeting, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Milltown, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, that the consent agenda previously prepared by the Borough Clerk be approved without the necessity of having the individual resolutions read by the Borough Clerk.
You've heard the reading of this resolution. What is your pleasure?
Move that this resolution be adopted.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Revelinsky, second by Councilman Potter. Any discussion? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilwoman O'Donnell?
Aye.
Councilman Peretti?
Aye.
Councilman Potter?
Aye.
Councilman Revelinsky?
Aye.
Council President Zambrana?
Aye.
Motion carries to pay the bills.
Thank you. And now we'll move on to the council reports. Start with Department of Finance, Administration, and Planning. Council President Phil Zambrana.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have three reports. The first report's very short, just for finance. We're in the process of putting together budget timelines with our BA CFO, Jeanette Larison, and the Finance Committee. And when those dates are firmly in place, we'll report as we move forward in each Borough Council meeting. Ford Avenue Redevelopment Agency will be meeting tomorrow. All are welcome. The link is there for any folks that actually want to attend. And once that meeting is over, we'll report back at the next council meeting on the 28th. And my last report is from the Senior Center, which is put together and submitted by our Senior Center Director, Debbie Cuddy. First and foremost, the Senior Center continues to have all of our staple classes, which include yoga, aerobics, strength training, line dancing, arts and crafts, bingo, access to our VNA nurse, and chorus. Program charge for these programs for most residents who are over 60 years and older is $1 and $2 for guests. Sign-up sheets are available on the bulletin board in the Senior Center. If anyone has any questions or cannot stop in to sign up, please feel free to reach out to Debbie at 732-296-0681. For the month of February, the following programs are available. A question and answer session with Ralph Chesnowski, our Director of Public Works. For those residents that are interested, Debbie has started teaching a Spanish class, and the class will continue to be taught every Monday at 12 p.m. There is no charge for this class. There was a Valentine's Day bingo presentation today with prizes and giveaways for Valentine's Day. There is a lunch and learn on falls downsizing and decluttering on February 16th at 12 p.m., which will be sponsored by Sunrise of East Brunswick. In an effort to thank our tireless Meals on Wheels volunteers, there will be a catered lunch on Wednesday, February 23rd at 12 o'clock p.m. for all that they do for the homebound seniors. Our next senior wrap session will take place on Thursday, February 24th at 12 p.m. I will be in attendance. That will be my first time wrap session this year. All are welcome to attend this meeting. And finally, as a reminder, the Senior Center is open from Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. and is available after hours for civic group usage. Debbie can be reached via email at dcuddy@milltownborough.com or again by phone at 732-296-0681. And that concludes my reports.
Thank you. Next, we'll move on to the Department of Public Safety. Councilman David Pott.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And first of all, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. And like Charlie, I do have to get home for some reason right after this meeting, so we'll try and make it quick. Madam Mayor, I have two reports this evening. The first one's from the Milltown Fire Department. This is the monthly report for January 2022. They had one drill, one meeting, 14 fire calls, 2 special assignments, 4 work details, and a total incidence of 22. They had a general discussion. They had a meeting with Chief Kennelly about the borough keeping the hose company on the Cottage Avenue as a backup station for police, fire, and rescue squad on the north side of town. The hose company was used during Hurricane Ida and was critically important to the north side that was cut off from emergency services until the water receded from Main Street Bridge. As far as membership, 13 members affected by COVID since January 1st, all placed in quarantines. The mask mandate for the firehouse is still in effect. As far as training, they had a drill on January 24th, was for blood-borne pathogens and hazardous communication refresher, cancer exposure, minimized video. Vehicle maintenance, E63 would not start, loose fuel filter, master intake valve was fixed, engine 72 picked up by the members in Farmingdale. Gauges will need to be replaced, not in service until the final repair is made. Car 81 side mirror, a little crack, will need to be replaced. Engine 72 master stream nozzle fixed. Hydraulic valve removed for rebuilding. The aerial is currently out of service, and as soon as it's fixed, will be put back into service. So just to let everybody know, if there's any residents in need of smoke detectors, they're still available to residents. Limited supply, so if needed, please contact Chief Patalia at milltownfirechief@milltownborough.com. And also, 2 members are always needed. Candidates interested in joining the Milltown Fire Department are encouraged to stop by the firehouse Monday nights at 6:30 or email joinmilltownfire, all one word, @gmail.com. Respectfully submitted, Stephen Patalia, Chief of the Department. Madam Mayor, my second report is from the Milltown Police Department. To all our residents, between January 13th, 2021 and February 8th, January 13th, 2022 and February 8th, 2022, police have responded to 1,090 calls for service. During this period, police conducted 117 radar details in numerous locations. They made 150 motor vehicle stops during this period. 7 arrests were made, which included shoplifting, burglary, and resisting arrest. Police responded to 15 motor vehicle accidents, which included minor injuries. Police have noticed an increase in residential and commercial improper parking violations, which included wrong side directional parking, parking on sidewalks, and blocking driveways. Please obey local and state laws, as these violations can create substantial risk to pedestrian and motor vehicle traffic safety. Milltown Police Department is currently accepting applications for part-time records clerk secretary, part-time crossing guards, and part-time police dispatchers. Applications are available online at www.milltownnj.org or in person at the Milltown Borough Clerk's Office. Please continue to report suspicious activity, traffic concerns, and non-emergent type calls to 732-828-1100. Emergency and life-threatening calls, please use 911. Residents are reminded to report any and all complaints by using the official borough website or by calling the Milltown Police directly. The Milltown Police Department does not monitor and will not react, reply, or respond to comments or complaints posted on any third-party social media sites. Thank you for your cooperation, Chief Brian Kennelly. And Madam Mayor, just to let you know, this Wednesday, the Public Safety Committee and Anna, Phil, and myself will be visiting the Milltown Rescue Squad at their monthly meeting.
Good.
And that concludes my report.
Good. Thank you very much. Next, we have the Department of Utilities, Councilman James Peretti.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. For our electric report, the electric substation inspections were performed daily. Batteries were checked for proper levels. T1 transformer containment was pumped out. Absorber pads were changed where needed. Generators were tested at borough properties. The department assisted the water department in troubleshooting the Muffin Monster control panel at our Church Street pump station. Installed replacement LED driver module and stairway fixture at the new firehouse. Lamps were replaced in various departments in the municipal building. A new emergency light was installed in the senior center to replace a defective unit. A broken neutral was repaired on house drops on both Harrison Avenue and Wendy Way. Several trees were removed on South Durst Drive. Department members also worked with the building staff to troubleshoot building issues and provide final readings. Line clearance was performed on Reuben Avenue and Townsend Street, and also a street light was also repaired on Townsend Street. Several broken branches were removed from distribution wiring. Organizing the new garage is still ongoing, as well as equipment maintenance. The department's apprentice received training on the hydraulic crimping tool. Holiday decorations were removed from poles and across roadways in town. The department members assisted the DPW with removing string lights from trees. Guards were installed to replace missing and damaged guards in various locations, and several broken electric meters have been replaced. It's worth mentioning that there have been no outages associated with our recent storms. The department has been vigilant with line clearance and removal of hazardous limbs from trees, and we've seen positive results so far. A recent blip in the power was a PSE&G issue that occurred on a sub-transmission feed out of town. And that concludes our utilities report. Two other just small reports. On behalf of the Human Relations Committee, our HRC, we're inviting those interested to look out for the Middlesex County Youth Bias Task Force Roundtable. It's a continuing discussion hosted by the prosecutor's office. It is a live stream link available on the Middlesex County website, which is www.middlesexcountynj.gov. The roundtable will be discussing combating biases among young people, teaching effective responses to hate crimes, creating learning experiences through discussion for students, parents, and school officials, and opening lines of communications between officials and the community. So that is on Thursday, February 17th from 6:30 to 8:30. And again, that's a YouTube live link that you can, this long stream of URL, so it's available on the Middlesex County website. And just worth mentioning, one of the subcommittees that I've been working on for planting has been meeting frequently to continue the work started last year with benefiting and beautifying our Main Street planters. So looking forward to more to come when the weather gets nicer and we get going on that. But that concludes my reports.
Sounds good, thank you. Next, we have the Department of Public Works and Recycling. Somebody has...
Yeah. So I have the short report for DPW on behalf of Councilwoman Newbauer. Along with all scheduled curbside collections and trash collections, DPW has the following report. Trimming of branches has taken place at various locations. Snow removal took place over the weekend of January 29th. All roads were cleared of snow, and then as conditions allowed, Roads were salted. All borough buildings had snow removal of all lots and sidewalks, and salting took place as weather allowed. Painting took place at Borough Hall. Pothole repair is ongoing as weather conditions allow. Catch basins were cleared in preparation for the melting snow. Mandatory stormwater training has taken place for 12 DPW staff members. Our wood chipper will be out on Thursdays. Please call 732-828-2100, extension 186, to make an appointment. Please check Channel 15 and milltownnj.org for DPW updates, and please consider subscribing to Recycle Coach. It's a great thing. Come straight to your phone or to your email. It tells you exactly if you're going to be late on putting out your garbage collection. I live by this. Thank you so much. That concludes my report.
That's it?
Concludes my
Okay,
report.
great,
Thank you.
thank you. And next, we have the Department of Environmental Health and Social Services, Councilman Rich Revelinsky.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So I made an inquiry, just a little oversight. I made an inquiry last council meeting, or prior to last council meeting, unbeknownst to me, that there is no borough department head for the health department, and so most of these reports do come directly from the subcommittees. As such, Councilwoman Neubauer is the liaison to the Board of Health, and she, of course, is out this evening, so unfortunately we don't have a report for the Board of Health. However, regarding environmental, we've met with the Environmental Commission as well as the Green Team, and for the Environmental Commission, 2 items to discuss. First, I toured the old Schwendeman property with DPW Chief, call him Chief, Ralph Jesnowski the other day to look at the facility, and requested our BA to provide me some documentation on the grant monies available for repair of that, as well as the limitations to what can be done. And I look forward to internalizing that, bringing it to the rest of the council, and see what we can do with that facility moving forward. Second, there is an ordinance that we're looking to regarding some stormwater. Mike, Mr. McClellan, rather, at CME, I'll be asking you a couple questions on that, because I know there was, I believe, 6 points of concern with the Environmental Commission on that ordinance, to which I believe 4 were conceded, and I just want to square that up and make sure that we're all on the same page. And that concludes my report as far as Environmental Commission. I do have 2 more things to mention. First, as many of you know, the governor has lifted some mask requirements to become effective in March, and as such, the Board of Education will be discussing this and how it impacts the schools at their meeting on Monday, February 28th. Unfortunately, that does conflict with Borough Council meetings, so we need to speak with them about maybe alternating Mondays or what we can do in regards to make sure that residents can get all the information and attend the meetings that they want to see. And for Revitalization Committee, next meeting we'll be submitting some dates for Earth Day as well as for Milltown Day. And I want to just announce to everyone out there that if you have an idea or want to do something on Earth Day, if you regularly schedule a cleanup or anything like that, please let me know. Ideally, we'd like to get the environmental associations and Revitalization Committee all in one room and discuss a broad plan for events for Earth Day. And that, finally, concludes my report.
Sounds good, thank you. And we have next the Department of Recreation, Councilwoman Margaret O'Donnell.
Thank you, Mayor. I will begin with my library report. Obviously, the big part of the library report was the introduction of our new director, Charlie. So check, that has been done. Circulation is back up in the library, as is attendance. The website and some computers need some updates, which was one of Charlie's first observations. The school is working on an outdoor literacy night that will be information will be forthcoming, as will be about Read Across America. Calendars are available at the library, but we're already getting prepped for next year's contest. So there'll be information coming out in March about the new photography contest. A past employee, longtime employee of the library, Linda Butch, passed away recently, and everyone was saddened to hear that, but generously her family offered some donations to the library, and some very nice things will be done with those donations. The Rec Advisory Board will meet on Wednesday and always meets on the third Wednesdays. Everyone is welcome to join us. The Milltown Historical Committee meets on fourth Thursday, so that'll be next Thursday, and I'll have a report following that meeting. From the Recreation Department, I'm sorry, I always have the longest reports of anyone. It's from the Recreation Department. This was thoughtfully composed by Kim McGrath. Registration is open for spring soccer clinics, which will begin on March 17th. The Recreation Department is beginning to accept employment applications for seasonal summer employment at the Borough Pool and Albert Avenue Summer Rec Camp. It is only being done online, no in-person applications. All applications will be due by April 1st. Winter yoga, women's volleyball, and men's basketball registrations are all in progress, but registration remains open for them. With spring on the way, remember, if you're interested in renting any Milltown park, please contact the Recreation Department directly to acquire a park facility usage form. Please note that Recreation is still accepting non-perishable food donations for Milltown neighbors in need, as well as for the Middlesex County Food Bank. That also supports Milltown residents. You may drop items at the Borough Hall, placing them in the green bins in the hallway of the main entrance during normal business hours. No donations should be left in the police entrance vestibule. The website is obviously milltownnj.org. You can go to departments and then find recreation. You'll find those registrations that I mentioned for the different programs. I did not see the job applications just yet, so keep your eye out for those. And lastly, the Recreation Committee, composed of myself and Councilmen James Peretti and Rich Revelinsky, participated in final round interviews for Recreation Director. And that concludes my report.
Great, thank you very much. Next, we will have our engineer report, Mr. Mike McClellan.
Yes, Madam Mayor, just actually 5 items tonight. First is that we're pleased to report that the lighting overlap onto the private properties regarding Little League Field has been addressed by Musco Lighting. The drawings have been released, and we're reviewing material delivery dates and construction starts with Musco. Obviously, as you know, there's material delays on almost anything today. We're working with them to try and get them installed per the borough's request. Next, Hague Avenue Patain, for which the firehouse improvements are included. This is the monument, are scheduled to be received on March 3rd bids. Thank you, Mimi, for the help with that. The Church Street Pump Station, we've been coordinating with pump number 1 repairs with the borough administrator. And lastly, Chestnut Street and Highland Drive water system improvements. The contract is being starting the first week of March, weather permitting. That's all we have, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Attorney report, Mr. Vignola, anything?
No report this evening.
Okay, the mayor's comments. I will echo what folks have said. Happy Valentine's Day. We're all here tonight because we love Milltown, so that's first and foremost before we all go home and celebrate. I'm also wearing red not only because it's Valentine's Day, but because it's Heart Health Month. So wear red for women's heart health. I know our employees did earlier this month. I'd also like to recognize the fact that we're celebrating the Lunar New Year as well as Black History Month. So a lot going on in February. So we thank you for joining us. And now we will move on to old business. Does any member of the council have any old business to bring before the council this evening? Seeing none, does any member of the council have any new business to bring before the council this evening?
Not a new business item, just a quick announcement. I don't see council comments on here, so I want to throw it in when we have the chance.
Oh, it's at the end, but that's all right.
Audience comments and
Should be. Oh,
So,
missing. Sorry.
maybe,
It's on the script, though. The mayor was going to call for him anyway. And it's like, not to worry, we never forget it, really.
there's no key card.
Speak now or forever hold your
So, real quick, just wanted to announce that Milltown 4th of July Committee is going to be having a celebrity bartender event on March 12th. Flyer over there, you might have seen him around town. We expect a really good turnout, and I hope everyone who is able to make it does come out and show your support for 4th of July.
That's right. Thank you.
Yep, and just to echo that, Madam Mayor, tickets are currently on sale, and they are at Mike's Country Market, Maria's Pizza and Subs, Milltown Convenience Bagel Express, and Rescued by Lacey. And again, as Councilman Brezelinski said, it's March 12th, 2022. Doors open at 7. And also, too, some more good news. Hopefully, next meeting, we will have the 4th of July here, make a presentation to
Great.
this year's event, and also to our celebrity bartender. And one more thing, keep an eye out for a dime to donate for Milltown 4th of July, hopefully sometime this month.
Cool.
Thank
Great.
you.
Yeah, if you want to know anything about 4th of July, we got a lot of folks up
The
here.
bookends, the bookends.
Keep tuning in. Anyone else? All right, then we'll open up to audience comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is to allow the public to bring to the council's attention their concerns or comments. The council will respect the public's time by refraining any comment until the speaker has finished. It should be further noted that the public comment portion of our meeting is not structured as a question and answer. If a member of the public has any questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made with the appropriate office during business hours or with any member of the council. Please state your name and address for the record when you come to the podium. Yes, Mr. Gregus.
Steve Gregus, 25 Lincoln Avenue. Rich, you kind of answered my first question. I was wondering what was going on with the Schwendman property, so I'm glad that that's moving forward because it seemed like nothing has been happening over there the last couple of years. So I'm glad to see that something's getting done, hopefully this spring. Second thing I want to bring up, it's regarding the Milltown Clockbed Rescue Squad. For those councilmen who probably weren't on council at the time, clock was installed in 2007 from donations from townspeople, and we did so well in the fundraising that we actually were able to raise an additional $5,500 that was put aside for maintenance, specifically for maintenance. Since that time, usually I was responsible for calling the company. The clock has been serviced twice, which brings the balance down to about $4,000. I was going to call this summer to have it done, but then I realized that we have a new business administrator, so I said, well, let me put a break on it. Let me go down and let her know what I'm doing. So I introduced myself, told her the situation, and according to her, she has no record. There's no separate account of that money, and she's unaware of any money set aside for a clock. So I don't know, which councilman is actually in charge of doing the budget for?
It's partly
But it's revitalization.
budget.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when you go to do the budget, I mean, that money should be accounted for, because that was money raised.
Right.
We wanted to put in an account, set it aside, but the borough said, no, we'll hold on to it, which is fine, because there was never a problem with getting the clock serviced, but
Right.
I don't want that money to disappear. The whole point of it was, we get the clock fixed, saving the taxpayers' money, and it's due to be serviced, because, right, it hasn't been serviced since right after Hurricane Sandy, and the light isn't working in it. So, but I wanted to hold off. I just didn't want to go, spending money, but the money is there, and.
But actual time is working now, right?
Yeah, but the light's not working, and it actually needs to be, so what they do is when they service it, they'll grease it, lube it, every so often it just needs to get done, just to
Right,
keep the
right.
clock running properly.
It's like an annual thing.
No. It's kind of when needed. The first time we did it, we waited about 3 years.
Okay.
Second time we did it was after Hurricane Sandy because it wasn't working right. From the storm damage,
Right,
it
right.
needed lubrication. So it's been a while, so it's due. At that time, usually each service, well, the last time we got it serviced was about $800. So I'm assuming it'll probably be a little more. The lights have to be replaced in it. So, but it's due, and I just want to let council know that, that money really should be accounted for.
We'll definitely see what we can
In
do.
the budget.
Councilman Peretti and I were there Sunday, because we planning on planters and stuff around it to kind of make it
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
So it was nice to see it looked nice. the time was correct.
Yeah,
But we'll
but the
definitely
lights
keep an
aren't
eye-
working in it.
We'll definitely keep an eye out to make sure that gets taken
Okay.
care of.
So
Okay.
Steve, I think what happened is it's just a separate line item. It's there. It
Yep.
just wasn't accounted for in a specific.
That's
item.
right, well-
But what I would suggest is that, now that it's a borough fixture, we shouldn't have people, from the, you shouldn't have to do it.
I
We
just
should have
wanted
a
you to be
regular-
aware that there
No,
was
I know.
money set aside for it. That was the
So,
whole
no, rather
purpose
than
of.
you having to call the people, we should, have a regular service contract with
I-
these folks that come every so often, and anything that goes wrong, as long as we have the same information that you do,
Well, I
it
plan
really
on,
should be up to the borough to do
I
that.
plan on, I still have all the information from the company, so I plan on
Turn it
giving it
over.
over to Ralph and let him take care of it.
Yeah. So that way you
Okay.
don't have to go. hey,
Yeah, I know.
you know.
And with COVID and everything too, it was a
Exactly,
pain.
exactly.
Okay,
So, yeah,
um,
we'll definitely get the light working and
Yeah,
get it
okay,
up and
very
get
good.
service.
Okay, just one more thing. This past holiday, the Historical Society had an open house. It was like the first open house we've had in a while because of COVID, and then also over the last 5 years, we've done a lot of work to the buildings. We didn't open it up for a while because the front porch was bad, but since that time, both roofs on the museum have been replaced, the front porch was replaced, the 2 porch roofs on the back building were also replaced, and we had a good turnout. Everything worked well, and we're doing a lot of reorganizing inside, cleaning it out, which I feel like I'm cleaning out my mother's house. It's accumulated a lot of stuff after the years, but found a lot of neat stuff that we didn't even know we had. But the turnout was really good, so we hopefully we're gonna start having, like a monthly, open the museum on a regular, regular basis again, so.
Okay.
But the turnout was nice, so it was nice that the, people came out and they supported it, so. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Steve, just one quick question for you. I'm curious, after Ida, if Ida was the last one we had, right? I forget all the names, but after Ida, did you notice anything different with the clock? Was the light working before then, or?
No, the light stopped working, it hasn't been working for a couple of years. I can't remember exactly when, but it's been a few years. The time was off maybe by about 5 minutes, but like I said, it's due for a service. Usually they'll take it apart, they'll lube everything, because, it gets, with weather and everything. It's just good to have it done once in a while, so.
I was just curious with the amount of water, if, perhaps that's something else that we should look at as when
Well,
we have a high
Sandy-
water event to.
Sandy was when it really needed because it wasn't working right. We had the flood there and the wind, just with the heavy winds and everything, it stopped working. But they fixed it, lubed up everything, and so.
Okay.
But it's due again. So.
Cool,
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other audience comments this evening? Seeing none, I will close audience comments and move on to council comments. Please stand.
It's not.
Seeing none, I will close council comments and move on to a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Council President Zambrana, second by Councilman Potter. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all for coming.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Yeah.